Hello, it's another test. In this case, mainly to see how my internet holds up for streaming, and to test some reliability stuff. I need to do a several-hour live stream quite soon for a video job, and I just need to make sure everything will go off without a hitch. So I'm trying to catch everything that might go wrong before I actually do it. Yeah. So, anyways, this is just an old stream test during which I played some music, which I'm sure I'm gonna get incredibly. Let's just say the YouTube algorithm isn't gonna be very happy with me. Whatever. I like the I like the effect this music gives. Actually, I think it's enjoyable. Kind of the high pass filter kind of effect. So yeah, I'm curious to see how the stream quality will hold up. We'll see. YouTube is telling me it's excellent. OBS is telling me the bitrate is fluctuating a bit. So yeah, we'll see. Basically, I'll just be doing some PBO studying in this case for Airlaw, which is incredibly boring, but you know, gotta put on something. And yeah. Let me just. Okay. I guess I might do some reading of this stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Don't ask me what music this is, by the way. It's just what I played during that previous live stream. So, you know. Let's see. Does this little window update when I move? Oh god, we've got 2 viewers already. That is interesting. Okay, so what I'm getting is a pop-up for video resolution. That's interesting already. That must be because we've got those bars on the side. I can't change that without stopping the stream, and I'm not really not looking to do that, so. Well, whatever. Okay. I hate Airlaw. Some countries you're supposed to pass this before you even get to do your first solo. But I guess they don't care at my airport. Yeah. Right, the Chicago conference produced 3 major agreements. I actually have to listen to the audio. So, how do we? I'll mute this for a sec, and then I'll turn the stream on. Some countries you're supposed to pass this before you even do your first solo. I guess they don't care at my airport. Yeah. Okay. What I guess I can do is just turn the music up a bit, because it's not bothersome. Though, yeah, YouTube's not gonna like that, but whatever. Okay, so the Chicago conference produced 3 major agreements. Document 7300, which is the Chicago Convention. Document 7500 is the International Air Service Transit Agreement. Hey, who knows, maybe saying all this stuff out loud might help me remember it, who knows. And document 9587, 9587, which is the International Air Transport Agreement. And those are the 5 freedoms. I don't think I'm going to remember those numbers, so I really hope I won't have to. Okay, so the articles, the next slides will explain the contents of the Chicago Convention in more details. So 7300, 7500, and 9587. Ooh, David Bowie. Right, Article 1 of the 5 freedoms is the Sovereign Act, actually. I think there's like 8 freedoms in total. 7 or 8. The general principle of the convention starts with the territorial sovereignty. Every contract states that the exclusive right to allow or deny aircraft into the area recognized as its territory and control all movements within such territory. So yeah, basically what that's saying is that the country who owns the air rights above their country gets to say what happens in them. And they get to allow or deny access at their discretion. Okay, Article 2 is that the territory of a sovereign state is a three-dimensional is three-dimensional, so it goes up, down, left, right. I mean, it goes in the X, Y, and Z direction, like this. Three-dimensional. It includes the airspace above international land and territorial waters. Navigation on the surface of the high seas and flight above such areas is free for the use of all. So in open waters, high seas, basically anyone can go there. Just gonna do another quick audio test. Territorial waters. Navigation on the surface of the high seas and flight above such areas is free for the use of all. Right. Okay, let's continue. Okay, article. We're already at 5. That can't be right. We go from 2 to 5. Okay. What? I think we might be missing some here. What? Okay. I mean, I already vaguely know all of these, but okay. So Article 5 of the Convention is about specific freedoms for non-scheduled flights. Basically allows a country to overfly, right? Isn't it that? No. Non-scheduled flight. Oh, right. That's us in GA. Unscheduled flights are general aviation flights, not engaged in scheduled international services. The first freedom for a non-scheduled flight is the right to overfly a foreign country without the necessity to obtain prior permission, or having to make a landing there before it can continue its journey. Oh, okay, I guess these are the articles of the first freedom. I don't know. Basically, the first freedom allows aircraft to overfly another country's airspace without having to stop there on its en route. The second freedom for non-scheduled flight is the right to make an immediate stop in a foreign country for technical reasons or few without obtaining prior permission of that country. So landing for non-traffic technical purpose. Landing for non-traffic, which is a technical purpose. So right, for repair or refuel or maintenance, possibly, I guess so. But just not to pick up any passengers or freight. Each contracting state, however, reserves the right to require non-scheduled flights to follow prescribed routes. This may be necessary for safety reasons, since some areas might be inaccessible or where no adequate navigation facilities are present. Right. So you can fly in them and over them, but they might prescribe routes for you. Especially if you want to land at them. Third freedom for non-scheduled flight. Oh, I'm a bit tired. Third freedom for a non-scheduled flight is to have... That music's a bit too loud for my taste. There we go. Okay, the third freedom for non-scheduled flights is to have certain commercial rights that allow picking up and transporting passengers, cargo, and mail. The contracting state, however, may impose restrictions. So the non-scheduled flight may fly, for example, from its home country of Belgium into France, pick up people, cargo, mail, whatever, and then fly to another country. It basically allows you to pick up people en route. Every aircraft which enters the territory of a contracting state shall, if the regulations of that state so require, land at a customs airport, also called an airport of entry. That's interesting, I didn't know that. country requires it, you have to land at customs airport. When departing from the territory of a contracting state, aircraft shall depart from a similar designated airport. The list of customs airports is published by the state. That's interesting. Rules of the air aren't actually the most boring part of Airlaw. The rules of the air are regulations and laws concerning air traffic. Those rules apply to all aircraft flying over the territory of a state, no matter what the aircraft nationality may be. So in the example, Airlaw country B applies and Airlaw country A applies. So it doesn't matter where the plane's from, it follows the rules of the country it's in. But, you know, that's generally how it works with people too. Oh, and music disappeared. Oh, and now it's back, okay. Okay, Article 12. Each contracting state must ensure that all of its aircraft are complying with the rules of the air, no matter which territory they are overflying. Over the high seas, the standard rules of the convention are applicable. The contracting state has the duty to prosecute all violations of the rule. So in the examples, or in the pictures I guess, all aircraft must comply to the rules of the air, and the duty to prosecute all persons violating the rules of the air. Basically, make sure the thing is airworthy, follow the rules, and otherwise you'll be prosecuted. The entry, clearance, immigration, passports, customs and quarantine regulations for passengers, crew and cargo shall be complied with, which is Article 13, entry and clearance regulations. Article 16, search of aircraft. What is happening here? Why is this thing flashing at me? Who knows? Every authority of a contracting state has the right, without unreasonable delay, to search arriving or departing aircraft of another contracting state. So Article 16 states that they can just search you, but they can't cause you an unreasonable amount of delay. Jeez, it's just that makes sense. Article 22, facilitation of formalities. All measures must be taken by the contracting state to prevent unnecessary delays due to administration, immigration, quarantine, customs, and clearance. They basically just gotta try to make everything run on time. It's also interesting that that's actually a law, or an article, I guess. Customs and immigration procedures, Article 23. Customs and immigration procedures must be established in accordance with the standards and recommended practices. What's that called again? The SARP, I think. SARP, SARP, I don't know. Nothing shall prevent the establishment of custom-free airports. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, that's also interesting. Article 24, customs duty. In order to facilitate flights to and from contracting states, they shall be admitted temporary duty-free. They shall be admitted temporarily duty-free. Fuel, oils, consumables, and spare parts are exempted. Are exempted from customs, provided those items remain on board. That's interesting. So I guess airlines get their gas for free. Not for free. Jeez, that would be something. Tax-free. If only I got my F-gas for free. Note that the same applies for spare parts imported with the Note that the same thing applies for spare parts imported with the purpose to be used on an aircraft or another contracting state. Of another contracting state, okay. So as long as the stuff remains flying between airports and doesn't get taken out of the airport, it's tax-free, because it never actually officially enters a country's tax area. So onboard is temporarily duty-free. Fuel, oils, and consumables like food and whatever's are duty-free, and spare parts are also duty-free. Article 29, documents to be carried in aircraft. The minimum documents required by the convention to be carried on board are listed below. Please note that besides these documents, each state may require additional documents. So the certificate of registration, certificate of airworthiness, which come with the plane, the crew licenses, so that's your license, the journey logbook, which is your logbook, makes sense too, the radio station license, would be an RT license here in Europe, the passenger list, and a cargo manifest. So that'll make sense, right? Use of aircraft radio equipment, Article 30. I really hope we're not going to have to remember what is what by the article number, because then I'm going to be here for a while. Aircraft are only allowed to carry a radio if a license to install and operate has been issued by the authorities of the state in which the aircraft is registered. Only crew members with a radio license are allowed to use radio equipment. And Article 31, Certificate of Airworthiness. Each aircraft shall have a certificate of airworthiness issued by the state in which it is registered. Which you've also got to take with you. And also your RT license, right? Yep. Radio station license. Article 32, Licenses of Personnel. The pilot license shall be issued or rendered valid by the state in which the aircraft is registered. For example, if the pilot flies on with an aircraft registered in Belgium, his pilot license must be issued or rendered valid by the Belgian authorities, which doesn't mean your license has to be from Belgium. The Belgian authorities just have to recognize it, or of course it has to be Belgium. License issued / rendered valid in the state of registration. Each state has the right to refuse or recognize. Which basically means that I, with my ESA license, will be able to fly a Belgian plane just fine, because Belgium recognizes EASA's license. But if I want to fly in the US, or more precisely on a US registered aircraft, then they don't recognize the EASA PPL, so I'll have to convert it, which is actually a bit difficult. But yeah. Recognition of certificates recognition of certificates and licenses, Article 33. Certificates of airworthiness and licenses issued by a contracting state shall be recognized as being valid by another contracting state. Those licenses must be issued, however, in accordance with the minimum standards of the convention. Right, that makes sense. Basically, when I fly to the US with my EASA PPL, they gotta say, yeah, you can fly here, as long as you don't fly US aircraft, that is. A journey logbook containing the aircraft particulars, crew data, etc. shall be maintained in a form prescribed by the contracting state, which is the journey logbook, Article 34, cargo restrictions, Article 35, transportation of weapons, war ammunition, etc. is only allowed if the state overflown has granted permission. Okay. No distinction shall be made between national aircraft and aircraft registered in another contracting state. The carriage of rescue and alerting devices, such as pyrotechnics, shall not be restricted. Right, so you can't just overfly munitions and weapons. That's very interesting, I didn't know that. But you can bring rescue devices or stuff like pyrotechnics, which are like flares or stuff like that. That looks weird. Photographic apparatus, Article 36. Each contracting state may prohibit or regulate the use of photographic apparatus in aircraft over its territory. That is also very interesting, actually. I thought someone just walked in, but that's the music, the live stream. So I just recorded it here as a test too. Adoption of international standards and recommended practices. Article 37. All contracting states shall do any effort possible to aim for uniformity in regulations, standards and procedures. To accomplish this, all technical specifications are published by the International Aviation Organization in the Standard and Recommended Practices, so the SARP. Just want to check something quickly. Give me a sec. Sorry about this. There we go. Okay. And we're back. Well, bitrate's doing interesting things again. 900. I mean, I am doing this over Wi-Fi, so that might explain parts of it. Okay, so basically, you have to do your best possible effort to standardize all your regulations and procedures and whatever. What technical specifications are published? Yeah, okay. Standards are specifications to which a contracting state must comply. Right, so so you have to comply with the standards. Oh, something's happening. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Interesting. Yep. Very, very interesting. Oh well. Okay, moving on. So standards are specifications to which a contracting state must comply. The recommended practices are specifications to which a contracting state will endeavor to comply. So basically you don't have to comply with the recommended, because you know the recommendations, but the standards you do have to comply with. These standards and recommended practices are published in the annexes of the convention, the ICAO annexes. Contracting states have the obligation to give immediate notification in the event of a non-compliance to the standards, and are invited to notify differences from recommended practices. The state has to publish its differences in their national excuse me. Oh, no, it's streaming data. Oh boy. How interesting. Wait, I'm gonna check what this looks like on the iPad. I put this up on the second screen, which my internet connection definitely isn't gonna like, but you know, give me a sec. Those licenses must be issued, however, in accordance with minimum standards of the convention. Okay.